What's good? It's your brother YK the Truth. And where are the grandmothers at? Where are the grandfathers at? Aboriginals. Where they at? Where they at? Where are those slave narratives saying we come from here? We were already here. See, I always hear you guys say, go to grandma.
No grandma killer. What is a no grandma killer, or what is a grandma killer to me? Anybody who just say read a book or anything, or follow somebody else's scholarship and say, hey, this is where we from. I don't care if it's here. If you don't go check and see where you from, you killing your own folks. I don't care if you join a Greek fraternity and you got all the connections on the planet. You still killed your grandmama. So
go to your grandma. But where are your grandparents at? How many videos are you showing of them saying, look, we were already here? Most of the elders that's teaching this Aboriginal stuff, they quote Dane Calloway.
And they're trying to debunk Dane Calloway information that we are not Aboriginal people. And that is true. We are Aboriginal people.
So Dane Calloway is teaching them that they was already here. They are not teaching Dane Calloway that they are already here. Do you get what I'm saying? You say go to your grandparents, but at the end of the day, the grandparents are coming to you. As if you was there at that time. So, let's go to the grandparents and the great grandparents, and let's see what they got to say. Right? Since the elders want to go to the youth, let's go to the ancestors. Let's go to the ancestors. Now, this is a slave narrative from Texas. All right? It says, I'll be 91 years old next May. And I was born in Brenham. My massa and missus was Frank Hubert and Sarah Ann Hubert. My daddy came from the old Africa and was tall and straight as an arrow. Where did he come from? Africa. Does it say America? No, it does not. So we're going to go to the grandparents. Let's go to our ancestors. See, we're not going to keep uploading videos talking about it. Let's show the people. Let's show our grandparents. Let's keep going.
Us never got enough to eat. So us keep stealing stuff. Us had to.
Course we know it was wrong to steal, but the niggas had to steal to get something to eat. I know I did. I got so hungry I steal chickens off their roosts. Yes, I did. Chickens used to roost on the fence stand right out in the night. We'd cook the chicken at night, eat him, and burn the feathers.
They talks a heap about the niggas stealing. Well, you know what was the first stealing done? It was in Africa, when the white folks stole the niggas just like you'd go get a drove of horses and sell them. But since the Lord saved me from a life of sin, I don't think about them things.
Now, here's another narrative from our ancestors. Ann Baker, 80 years old slave, is tall and well built. She is what the Negroes term high brown. Her high forehead and prominent cheekbones indicate that there is a strain of other than the pure African in her blood. In her blood. Which means She was mixed. See, our ancestors and our grandparents and my aunt and other relatives, they always said we have native in us. They never said we were originally from here. Never. Stop lying on the grandparents. Stop lying on your grandma. Stop lying on your grandpa. Because you are the grandpa killer. Not us. We have the stories. Where are your grandparents? We're not even going to speak anymore until y'all start producing these grandparents. I don't want to hear you say that, yo, go to your grandparent. No, you go to your grandparent and see if they say we come from here. Let's keep going.
Miss Smith, what is your full name? Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith. My name raised me name is Charlie Smith. My first name what my mother's name is Mitchell. Yeah. Mitchell Watkins. That's what my mother and father's name is. Mitchell Watkins. I was raised in that, was born in Africa and come from the United States. The state that was in slavery time, they sold the colored people. Yes. Sold the colored people and they bring them from Africa. And they brought me from Africa. I was a child, a boy. The colored folks wanted to throw me off the boat coming from Africa. Throw him overboard. I didn't cuss. Throw him overboard. Let the damn whale swallow him like it done Jonah. Hadn't it been the colored one wanted to throw me off. Hadn't it been for Legree and the captain of the boat, Legree was a white man, and the captain of the boat was a white man. But the colored one wanted to throw me off the boat. And they were J. And they bring me from Africa. Liberia, Africa, where I was born from.
Now, let's listen to this one. All right? And this one is going to make you feel some type of way. Now, this is a slave narrative. When we heard was over and we's free, we all just jump up and hollers and dances. Missy, she cries and cries and tell us we is free. And she hopes we starve to death. And she be glad because it ruined her to lose us. They was a big bunch of us niggers in town, and we stir around like bees working in and out of a hive. We just that way. I went wild in the first year I went north, but I come back again to Texas. After a while, I marries an Indian maid. Okay? It was nothing much but Indians round, and there wasn't much law. Now, if he was an Indian, he wouldn't be saying that there's Indians around. So he's already excluding himself. So that shows you that he's not an Indian. I lived with her about 2 years, and then the Indians come and captured her just before she was to give birth. They kill her or carry her away and left me for dead. And I never see or heard of her since. While I was sick or outlaw, what was Thomas Jeffries helped me get well, and then I turned outlaw and follow all signs of Indians all over the earth. But I never could get word of my wife. She was pregnant. Why? Most likely because another Indian was in love with her. And she was in love with an African. and they left him for dead. You see? Where your grandmothers at? Where are your grandfathers at? Stop talking. Dan Calloway, stop talking. Aboriginal power, stop talking. Any Niji, stop talking. Let your grandfathers talk. Where they at? We letting our ancestors speak. And no, they are not Indians. Let's keep going.
My father was born here. His father was born here. His father was brought here. Was fishing too close to the river in Africa. Snatched his black ass right up off the shore. Come on, nigga, goddammit, North Carolina.
Here's another slave narrative. I belong to a class of Negroes called Geechees. My grandfather was brought directly from Africa to Port Royal, South Carolina. See, this is why they got to keep saying things like, well, not all Africans, not all black people are African, or we don't all come from Africa.
All over the planet. We just don't come from Africa.
Because we got too much evidence. DNA. Slave narratives. Culture. Food.
Now, the Gullah Geechee heritage, which came from our ancestors, the Africans who came over who were rice growers from the west coast of Africa.
Language.
The Gullah language, and of course we always call it Seminole here. We were never told that it was Gullah. We never called it Gullah, but turns out it is. It was English, but it was different. And I heard it all my life that growing up, my parents, grandparents, aunts. My name is Bertha.
But what do you guys have? See, I'm starting to believe that a lot of these Aboriginals are delusional. You know when you believe something just because you want to believe it's true? It's delusion. But where are your grandparents? Where's your grandfather? Bring them to the table. Let's keep going. Now here's another one. Pet Franks, Aberdeen, Mississippi. Uncle Pet, 92-year-old ex-slave, is the favorite of Acca's Fishing Lodge, which is situated 14 miles north of Aberdeen, Monroe County. He is low and stockily built. His ancestry is pure African. Pure African. Where are your grandparents at? Aboriginals. See, this is why you guys got to stay in your little damn echo chambers. Cootie Mayo and all of you Dan Calloway. Because your ancestors don't speak for you. You speak for them. Our ancestors speak for us. And we speak for them. We talk different. Let's keep going. Here's another one. I don't recollect what Ma's mammy and poppy was named, but I know that her pappy was a full-blooded Indian. Right? I guess that is where I gets my brown color. Her mammy was a full-blooded African though. A great big woman. From Africa. So, her pappy was a full-blooded Indian, but her mother was a full-blooded African. Do you get it? No, you wasn't already here, bruh. You wasn't already here. And majority of us are from Africa and only have a small percent of native ancestry.
All right, go ahead and look now.
All right. All right. 88% Africa. That's a lot. 2% Asian. 6% European. What? 3% American or Native American. 1% Pacific Islander. So you are 88% African.
See, this is why you don't want to take a DNA test, because history will only validate those tests. These slave narratives will only validate your test. They're saying this, we're African. Pure African. So, stop lying on grandma and grandpa. Grandma and grandpa, bruh. They did not say we was already here. They said some of us have native ancestry in us. All you got to do is take a DNA test. But see, you don't want to take a DNA test because then you will have to wake up from your delusion, from your slumber. I want to debate an Aboriginal. And after this, I'm done with this topic. I'm going to let you guys stay asleep. But I want one main Aboriginal to step up. And I'm not talking about a debate like when we just going back and forth. I want that shit to be timed. A professional debate. I want you guys to bring your grandparents. Bring your grandmas. Bring the slave narratives. Bring some type of evidence besides classifications.
To reclassify as mulatto and Negro and colored, and then to African American and blacks. How many more times are they going to reclassify it?
One going, an Indian servant. What is an Indian? All right. Well, Indian is being applied to a dark-skinned person. Okay.
And they were called Negroes and all that other bullshit. And all of this filibustering. 3 to 5 hour lives talking about nothing. Absolutely nothing. Showing us people that resemble the Olmecs. Oh, they said it was Negroes. We need more evidence, bruh. Where are your grandparents at, bruh? Where is your grandma at, bruh? Because I don't see no elders. Except the elders that are saying they learned from Dane Calloway.
And they're trying to debunk Dan Calloway information that we are not Aboriginal people. And that is true. We are Aboriginal people.
So that's in reverse. You're not going to your grandpa. Your grandpa coming to you. And that means your grandpa just got some type of issues with Africa. And then what gets me is this, right? If you're telling us to go to our grandparents, right? But yet you say the history books lied to us and everything, right? How are those grandparents right? If they don't even know who they are. If we was lied to and had all our culture stole from us, our rich native tongue and our rich native history, how do you expect for us to go to them when they don't know shit? Checkmate. The jig is up. Let's keep going. Here's another one. James Lucas, ex-slave of Jefferson Davis. I was born in a cotton field in cotton picking time. And women's fixed my mammy up so she didn't hardly lose no time at all. My mammy sure was healthy. Her name was Sylvie. And her mammy come over this country in a big ship. Her mammy come over to this country in a big ship. So this is for all of you silly Aboriginals that keep asking, where are the slave boats?
The transatlantic slave trade and how the slave trade story in general, one, was told to us in reverse. Two, a lot of it was not true. Like, it doesn't have any backing. It doesn't have any form of primary sources to back it up.
That's what my mother and father named me, Mitchell Watkins. I was raised in that, born in Africa and come from the United States. The state that was in slavery time, they sold the colored people. They sold the colored people and they bring them from Africa.
They knew where they came from, what means of transportation. And I already did a whole video. You could check out that video where I made a video called Where Are the Wooden Slave Ships? It's on my channel. And I talk about shipworms and wood rot. So it will be foolish for somebody like Dan Calloway, who's supposed to be an historian, to not know that wood rots and there's something called shipworms. But these are the dudes who y'all look up to as a savior. What he said, her name was Sylvie and her mama come to this country in a big ship. Somebody give her this name, old Betty, but twant her right name. Folks couldn't understand a word she said. It was some sort of gibberish they call Gullah talk. That's Gullah. That's the Gullah language. And that's Africa. Let's keep going. My mom was a black African, and she sure was mean. She was so mean to me, I couldn't believe she was my mammy. They could have whooped her without tying her up first. Sometimes my master would wait till the next day to get somebody to help tie her up. Then he forget to whoop her. They used to say she was a conger and they was all scared of her. But my mom was scared of congers. All these niggas on their place was born in their family and was napped my mom. They kidnapped my mom. She told them how they brought her from Africa. You know, like we say president in this country, well, they call him chief in Africa. Seemed like the chief made arrangements with some men and they had a big gooper grabbing for the young folks. They stole my mom and come more and bring them to this country. They stole them and brought them to this country. Like, I could do this all. I have so many slave narratives that say we come from Africa. These are people's great-great-grandparents. Grandparents. Where your grandparents at, bro? Can you give us something? Will you? Prove it. We need proof. So it's your brother YK the Truth, and I'm out. Peace.
I haven't seen any indication that these Native American groups, which we are claiming relationships with, are really the descendants of the first people in the Americas. In other words, to make a long story short, I think this Aboriginal thing is nonsense. I think it's anti-African. I think it's destructive to our community.
Watch me do it for my ancestors. Watch me do it for my ancestors. They try to say that it ain't happened. It ain't what? But you know that they be capping on. Watch me do it for my ancestors. Do it. Watch me do it for my ancestors. Watch me do it. They try to say that it ain't happen. It ain't what? But I know that they be capping on. Now they wanna ask about a boat. Looking at them cause I know that it's a joke. It's a joke. Because they don't really see that they needed the boats more than forced slavery. Dumb nigga. So miss me with the dumb shit. My ancestors built the drums with the drumsticks. So you could move on your feet. So I could groove to the beat. But you rather be an Indian. But you look more like a pretendian. Columbus named you when he came through with Spain, oof. You wanna say DNA ain't real. You need help, take your ass to Dr. Phil. And why you wanna steal from the natives? Leave them alone, you got your own flavors. Stop being a culture vulture, please. Stop being a culture vulture, nigga, please. Stop being a culture vulture, please. Stop being a culture vulture. Watch me do it for my ancestors. Do it. Watch me do it for my ancestors. Do it. They try to say that it ain't happen. It ain't what? But you know that they be capping on. Watch me do it for my ancestors. Do it. Watch me do it for my ancestors. Do it. They try to say that it ain't happen. It ain't what? But you know that they be capping on.